This is a shot of the TWA Hotel. Sadly, the sun is behind us, or in front of us, making it difficult to see the bird-like, sort of like a bat-like image of the hotel. Hey, Gary's Tour fans, here, this is a iconic analog display of the airline flight schedules. Originally, we're in the TWA Hotel. They saved this. It's a analog device that displays the scheduled flights. And it changes and makes a click, click, click sound every time it changes. About every minute or so it changes, which is cool. It shows boarding, and these are actual flights that are taking place. By the way, I have to keep talking because they're playing copyrighted music behind in the background. So if I'm talking, that will probably overshadow the copyrighted music. There's check-in. It's where you used to go to buy tickets. I have to talk constantly because we'll have a problem with copyright issues. So this is where you check in. I just checked in, and I'm waiting for another half hour or so before I can get to my room. My room is still being made up. But it's a really cool place, very modernistic. Looks like they're gonna have some sort of little coffee thing here. Here's an old mini BMW. How about that? Look at the BMW. That will still work well in Ireland particularly. You don't want a very big car. Let's go and look at some of the cars outside and see what's there to be seen. These are old cars. This is where you check into the TWA Hotel. And this is a 1962 town car convertible. Actually, this resembles very closely the car that President Kennedy was shot in. This is an old VW bus. Lots of those at the beach. Kids used to buy those and live in them. This one looks like it might have been lived in also. And it's still registered legally. How about that? Let's see if the town car is registered. Nope. No registration on the town car. The airport is under massive construction right now. The only part of TWA that's still alive is the logo and the hotel. Feels great in here because the temperature is nicely air conditioned. So now adjacent to the check-in place, this is a food court with a lot of really cool food court brands. They call this the corner store. They have breaded items and coffee and sandwiches and things of that nature. And it's Vinny's Panini in New York City. Feltman's of Coney Island, hot dogs. How do you go wrong with that? Vinny's juice bar.
Berry Nutella bowl.
Crepes your way. You like a crepe. And there's room for further expansion. I think they're hoping they'll get some more people here. Let's walk down here and see what we see. I have to talk because I don't know how much of the music in the background is going to be blurred out or removed at YouTube's request. There's an old cart. They still use carts like that to move luggage around, by the way. Things haven't changed that much since 1963. The luggage is a little different looking now, but that's very cool. And here is what the TWA workers dressed like in the early 60s. Here's a fire hose. They still use something like that when they're gassing up the planes or refueling the planes. Here's some TWA workers' clothes. As I said, they have room for expansion here. I'm really glad they saved this place. I first came here in 1962 when it opened. I was in college then, and when I'd have a 2 or 3 hour break from college, I'd shoot in and do things like this. I still always like going to see things, and that's why I love having a YouTube channel, because it gives me an opportunity to see lots of stuff and do lots of things. Hello, how are you?
Good.
She's the lady who's just finished cleaning the men's room. It's supposed to be warm today, but I lived in Naples, Florida for a while, like 10 years, where it's 93 degrees and humidity off the charts every day. So heat doesn't really bother me that much. Well, I'm going to be able to stay in Naples. Because this is a 4-star hotel, they have a gym, a fitness area. It may or may not be open. Well, let's see if it is. See if we get in. Oh, it's locked. It's often locked a lot. Hi, I just want to take a video of the place.
Oh yeah, go ahead. Let me show you.
Yeah, you're not open yet?
Yeah, we're open. It's actually the gym.
Oh, okay, I know. I'm staying here tonight.
Yeah, down there in the middle.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
So this is the TWA Hotel gym. Grab a towel. Place towels there. How cool. Lots of nice workout equipment. Steps, inclines, track, treadmills. Lots of stuff to torture you. Free weights, not bad. So as I said, I have to keep talking because some of this music may well be copyrighted. And I want to avoid any copyright issues with YouTube. What are we going to now? Ballroom or something, huh? It's a court of some sort. This is, I guess, medicine ball court or something? Or no, it's a place where they give a class. They have a class here if they wanted to. A yoga class. That's what that is. Very cool. So this is a very nice gym. While you're staying at the TWA Hotel, you can work out. Stay in shape, burn the calories from the food you ate, which is also cool. And then you can drop your towel when you're done. And thank you, miss.
You're welcome.
Let's see what we have here. Remember, I have to keep talking because of the music. Or we'll have a very quiet video and we'll have to do a voiceover. Anything's a possibility. What do we have over here? This is the Hughes wing. And the Hughes wing faces the airport. We're staying in the Hughes wing, which is the better part of the hotel to stay in. A little more expensive, but you get to see the planes take off. They have a TWA robe. I really should get a TWA robe, I think. TWA hotel robe. How about that? Let's see what else they have. Lots of nice stuff. How are you? They have a nice lady here too. She's here to make sure I don't steal anything. I have my eyes on that robe.
We have a lot of stuff.
Good. You don't give them away in the hotel rooms?
I don't believe they have them upstairs.
No. You have pencils here too, I hear, right? So we don't take the 25 pencils they leave in the room. It seems dishonest to me in some way. Look at that, junior pilot. Dressing rooms, shirts. How about that? Thank you for letting us look around.
No problem. Have a great day, sir.
Thank you. Here's a bar on this floor, next to the sunken bar over here. This is where they have a bar. You notice how the bartender is looking like a captain. Wearing captain's bars. And there's Connie. Connie is a airplane and is now a bar. You walk into Connie and have a drink. This was this plane in the late 50s was what the plane that TWA flew around the world with. How they really made their reputation as a world airline. And here's another beautiful sunken bar where you can sit and wait. Sort of like this used to be the old waiting room. Now we're going to take a look at how this place looked years and years ago. This is a model they've set up of what this place looked like when it first opened. That's where we are in the airport. And here's the terminals they had. They had hubs. You walk out to where the hotels are now. They had hubs. All the airplanes gather around the hubs, and that's where you walk into there from the main terminal. And these are all people waiting to check in with their luggage. Now they have some cool stuff to look at down here. In the 60s, when this place opened, there was a game called Twister that kids played on Friday nights and Saturday nights. I remember playing it. You would simply, it wasn't quite as elaborate as this. You'd spin the Twister device and you had to move from wherever you started, or wherever you usually start on the big blue, you had to move to a green. And usually you played it with someone else, maybe a female person, and maybe 2 or 3 female persons and 2 or 3 guys would play, and somehow you got all twisted up together, where your legs would be on top of their legs and their hands would be on top of your hands. You got all twisted up, and then that would lead to a lot of fun. Now this is the Sweet and Glow. It's what a beauty shop probably looked like in the 60s. Hair dryers, I've had those. I've used hair dryers like that. Same kind. Sponsored by Sweet and Glow. But they call it Sweet and Glow. Sweet and Glow company sponsors it. Interestingly enough, in Europe, Sweet and Glow is illegal. And here's some old Life magazines to look at. Let's see if they're real. Nope, they're not real anymore. They used to have real ones here. I guess people started stealing so much from them, they just have the covers now. And here's the reception area. And here's how Sweet and Glow has changed over the years. The United Airlines, Northeast Airlines, Delta, New York Air. And there's some of the hairstyles that were popular in the 60s. And this is some of the service that you received on planes. I remember eating steaks on TWA planes. You don't get steaks anymore on planes. At least not the ones I've been on. The food has deteriorated. Ever since they started competing in price, it's been sort of not as much fun as it used to be. When you paid a lot more for your flight, you got a lot more. Let's see what else we say. This is the Saarinen. Now here's some of the stories about Connie the plane. In 1958, the Lockheed Constellation, affectionately known as Connie, is now a cocktail lounge. We're going to go out and look at it. There's the guy who owned TWA. Howard Hughes was a very reclusive multi-billionaire. Leonardo DiCaprio played him in a movie about his life. And these things, some more about the 50s and Connie and how it became so popular. That flight attendant, you see, in those days we called them stewardesses, in the 50s, with the blue uniform on. I saw a uniform that looked exactly like that when I first came to this location. In 1960, the jet age arrived. 707s. I remember one of my aunts telling me about what a 707 was like. She said it takes off like a regular plane, and all of a sudden it goes zoom and goes straight up, which is true. A propeller plane doesn't go straight up as much as a jet does. And here's Maine to Manhattan. Some more of the photographs about. By the way, the interesting story, as you probably know, is that on Park Avenue, what is now the MetLife building, used to be the TWA building. TWA built it right on top of the railroad because that was their way of showing they were on top of the railroads. Prior to that, the railroads had been on top. Prior to the time the TWA building was built right on top of the terminal for Penn Central. They were sort of on top. It was sort of the CEO, crazy CEO of TWA, telling the owners of the railroads, we're on top now, literally and figuratively. I'd say this hotel looks pretty full right now. Walk along here and go up to the next floor and see what we see on the next floor. I think the whole place is only 3 floors. This is the bar outside. Connie open yet?
The Connie opens at 4 p.m.
4 p.m. Thank you. I saw the door open.
Someone broke in.
I know it's probably a worker. No one's told me I can't video. I have written permission from the marketing department here to video, so they probably won't stop me from videoing. Or maybe they've been told I'm here. It's hard to say. Let's see what's up here. This is the Paris Cafe. I believe I'm having dinner here tonight. Hello.
Hello, how are you?
I'm dining here tonight. Do you have any special? No specials on the menu? Is this a menu thing?
Yeah, that's the lunch menu.
Oh, you have a dinner menu too?
Yes.
Let me take a quick look at it. Or you can sit here, you view what's going on. Thank you so much, miss. That's dinner menu. Great, thanks. Let's take a look at the dinner menu. pause your video here and see what the grand menu is. And we'll capture all the prices. If I can't, I have to keep talking. Well, we'll lose all our sound. Well, thank you very kindly. I appreciate that.
Lord,
You're too cool for school.
Thank you. We're coming at 6:45. It's going to be a grand ride.
okay, no problem.
Thank you. Let's see what else is on this floor. What do we have around here? More secluded place, an overflow area. Or a place you can go privately. There's a bar, and there's what used to be the main waiting area. When this place first opened, they used to hire actors to put them in uniforms of pilots and flight attendants to add some realism to it. They don't have to do that anymore because now some of the airlines, well, it's a little pricey, have started putting up some of their personnel in the rooms here. The rooms are probably too small to get like 4 people in at a time. That's what they like to do. It's just places to hang out. Let's walk around and see what else we see. Hi. He's got a healthy amount of luggage. Let's see what else we see around here. We're being followed by the music. Now there's the Saarinen wing of the hotel. And those are all hotel rooms. You can see the beds from here. The beds all look out. Now those beds are simply looking out they're facing out and they're looking out at this building, which is not the greatest view. I specifically selected one where I could view the runways, which I thought would be more fun. Now we're going to sort of a museum part of this tour, where you see the actual outfits that TWA personnel wore from the beginning up to the time they ended. Here's the captain's uniforms. We may get better lighting on the other side, but it's not as cool. You see, if the lighting is better this way, these are some of the uniforms that they wore. Now that would be two stripes typically is a server or a flight attendant. As we call them today, they used to be called stewardesses years ago. These are more flight attendant outfits. '71 to '75, that's how they dressed. Very cool looking. Now, when I was here the first time, I was quite young. I saw some uniforms here. This is the uniform that I saw in 1962. So they English uniform with an unusual looking hat. This is 55 to 60. Look at the suitcases that we used in those days. I don't know how you carried them. It's sort of in the porter to carry them. And from 44 to 55, this is the way flight attendants dressed. Originally, stewardesses had to be registered nurses. They dropped that requirement somewhere in the mid-50s. Let's see what else there is to see here. Remember, I have to keep talking. Connie doesn't open till 4 o'clock. We're going to do a shot of Connie. Or maybe do our own video on economy. And there's another TWA luggage carrier outdoors to look at. Is this cool or is this cool? Those are all people waiting to get in.